And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
And welcome back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Great program today. Now's a good time to call with your question at 888. And it's holiday season, you know, so don't forget the family member who gets you to all those special events, your vehicle. And speaking of seasons and this particular season, with football season in full swing, General Motors engineers did some recent testing on vehicles with those Team Spirit flags showing. And it's found that accessories get roughly 10 fewer miles per fill-up than those without. So I know that we all want to fly our flags. It's assumed that you'll all want to keep those flags in place. So on the hotline with us today is Matt Hinds, Buick Development Engineer, to talk about this hot topic. Matt, welcome back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Thank you, Bobby. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you know, for drivers who are not going to ditch their team flag accessories, and you can't blame them, share with our Car Clinic listeners and viewers what they can do to increase fuel economy in other ways.
Well, first of all, we'd like them to leave the rushing to the offense. They can reduce their speed. If they drive just reducing their speed 10 miles an hour from 80 to 70 miles an hour, you can save about 4 miles per gallon in our Buick Enclave. Something else, a lot of drivers, as soon as that stoplight turns green, they like to take off and get going in a hurry. Well, if they'll just take it a little easier, accelerate a little slower, and maybe brake a little easier, and keep some distance between them and the car in front of them, that's also going to improve their fuel economy by a significant amount. One thing the new Buick Enclave has available on it is what we call adaptive cruise control, and that allows the driver to set a speed, but then the car is going to maintain a certain distance between itself and the car in front of it, and that will also help the car accelerate more gradually and decelerate gradually, which is also going to improve the fuel economy that the customer is going to get.
I absolutely agree. I've driven cars with the adaptive radar speed cruise control, and it definitely works. I wasn't really sold on that until I actually drove a vehicle that had it, and now my next new car will have that on it. And speaking of new cars, all the new cars, Matt, have a suite of safety technologies that can help us become better drivers. How do owners really take advantage of all that the new vehicles have to offer?
Well, I think another feature that we offer on the Buick Enclave is we can show them their tire pressures on the driver information page right there on the cluster. And so one thing that helps them do is make sure their tires are at a proper inflation. Tires that are not inflated properly, just 5 PSI low, can cost them about 1% of fuel economy. And then OnStar also enables the customer to have an app on their phone or smart device, and they can see their tire pressure right there on their device and check it and know that it's low. And so that it's another way that we help the customer take advantage of the features on their vehicle that'll help them get the best fuel economy possible.
That makes sense. We're talking with Matt Hinds, Buick Development Engineer. And Matt, a lot of folks take a lot of tailgate cargo. I mean, they load the trunk up and what have you. How much fuel can be saved just by limiting the weight of excessive cargo?
Well, through our testing, we've seen, getting the vehicle going, the more it weighs, the more fuel it's going to cost you. And we've seen in our testing, for every 250 pounds that you reduce, you're going to save about 2% of fuel economy. So it's a significant amount.
Well, we've talked about tire pressure, and we've talked about loads, and we talked about speeds, and I have to tell you, you kind of hit my hot button there. You mentioned 80 versus 70, and quite candidly, you can get there almost as quickly at 70 as you can at 80, and you can save a lot of money and just have an easier trip. As we're approaching the winter driving season in many parts of the country, as folks head out for the roads for the holidays, share with us any additional tips that our Car Clinic listeners and viewers can use to stay safe and improve those miles per gallon, especially with the Thanksgiving coming up.
Yeah, I think, driving slow and cautiously is certainly going to help. Another feature we have on the Buick Enclave, it's an industry first, is an all-wheel drive disconnect system. So if your vehicle is equipped with all-wheel drive for those days when it is snowy or you have treacherous conditions, when it's not, when it's dry out and the conditions are good and you know it, you can disconnect that all-wheel drive system, and you've got less force going to the rear wheels, and so you're wasting less energy, and that's saving you fuel as well. The other thing the vehicle is equipped with is a 9-speed transmission. That helps us keep that engine speed right where we want it to get the best fuel economy, even driving at highway speeds. So it's great features that are going to save the customer quite a bit of fuel.
And a final question, where can our Car Clinic listeners and viewers go for more information on the Buick product?
Yeah, Buick.com has great information on it, all about the new Buick Enclave, and all the specifications and pricing, everything's right there. So I would encourage everybody to look there.
Sounds good. Matt Hinds, Development Engineer for Buick. Matt, thank you for joining us on Car Clinic today. Great to have you back in the house.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.